man, I just give so much credit to the Fafita and McMillan families for not trying to overplay it on Twitter, on social media, not exposing any of what they were thinking or doing. They were just trusting in the plan, because they were really the linchpins, as I mean, we all know, they were the ones that everybody was kind of sitting and watching, trying to see what were they doing. The fact that they waited and they had patience. And it's so funny because we say patience, it was only 7-8 days when they made their decision to stay.
Right.
And that doesn't seem like a very long period of time, but for everybody, it seemed like an eternity waiting to see what everybody was going to do and jockey for position. So I think in the end, what I'd have to say, Mike and Jason, is as parents and as fans, especially, because the fans can sometimes, lose their minds a little bit, and that's okay. It happens. That's why we're called fans.
Right.
Let things play out. Let things happen. Let people like Dave Hickey and the people in power make their decisions on why they make their decisions, and then make your decision. And that's what we did with Leif. We just let him decide. And it seems like everything turned on the up and up, and this team, for the most part, is coming back next year, which is awesome.
How much, when you first heard the news that Jedd Fisch was gone, I know that people in the administration were blindsided. I mean, parents were blindsided. What was just going through your mind?
Wow. You know what? I said it, and I think you said it, Mike, or maybe it's you, Jason, but it wasn't that he left. It's how he left. I have to give Jedd Fisch full credit for what he did over the past 3.5 years since that 0-5 2020 season, which seems like a decade ago now, and how painful it was under the Sumlin era and so forth. And then what he's done, the reach outs to the high schools, the bringing the media and the letting the fans come to the practices. Like he really had a plan and a program, and it worked. It did.
Right.
We can't deny Jedd Fisch.
No doubt.
It was incredible. And you go to 10-3 and beat a good Oklahoma team in an Alamo. Like, wow, holy crap. So he did amazing things. And I think that's what hurt the most, is the fact that you expected that what he built, he was going to want to continue to capitalize on. So once again, it wasn't that he left. It was just kind of the way he did it. It was really a sour note to, have the players literally addressed for 2 to 3 minutes.
Right.
And then out the door, the signing of the contract in his Tucson home, there was just lots of little things. I'm never gonna fault anyone for taking advantage of opportunities in their life to bigger and better things. We all do it. The players do it, the coaches do it. It's really just sort of the way he did it. And I think I'm glad of the way it played out now. I'm looking retrospectively, but I think had he spent 15-20 minutes with the players and kind of explained, his decision making and showed a little emotion and so forth, I think there'd be a lot more players in Washington right now.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. I had a parent reach out to me, definitely a prominent parent, and he said, listen, I'm never going to tell somebody not to take a job, especially one that's going to pay them more money. But the two things that I felt that we kind of deserved is we at least deserved somewhat of a heads up. I don't care if that's 5 minutes before the announcement. I don't care what that is, especially when you're preaching family. And he said, honestly, in that meeting, listen, it's tough for everybody, but guess what? It's something you got to do. You can't just go in there and essentially be, all right, guys, I'm going to Washington. I got a plane to catch. See you later. That to me is the issue. Not that he took the job, how he did it.
Yeah, it was that for everybody, I think. I mean, everyone's going to have their response and their visceral response to what happened. I'm really glad now, 9 days later, the way it's turned out, and Coach Brennan's hiring and everything that's going on now these past few days. It was hardest on the boys, but I know there's a lot of families that really suffered through this because there was a lot of promises made. There were a lot of relationships that were much tighter and even closer than some others. And everyone's going to have their response. And I think they're okay with that.